am Sheri Spaine Long. I'm the Executive Director of the American Association of Teachers of Spanish and Portuguese, otherwise known as the AATSP. I'm going to talk to you today in the little bit of time that we have about how the AATSP supports bilingualism. And what I do is have you think about this goal. AATSP positions teachers and professors to help their students level up on a continuum toward bilingualism and biliteracy. So that's our common goal, if you will. We want our students to learn. We want them to be proficient. We want them to be conversant and able to use their Spanish or Portuguese skills and cultural knowledge in amazing ways. That is, after all, what we're about as educators. So with that said, let me tell you how the AATSP can help you and support you so that you can do these things for your students, so that you can help make them happen. We want to make it easier for you. And it's been a hard year with COVID, so we completely understand the challenge of that statement. The AATSP, just briefly, was founded in 1917, so it is one of the oldest and largest language associations. It's comprehensive. It's a professional association in the US of about 10,000 members. The umbrella is very big, if you will. The umbrella includes not only Spanish and Portuguese education, but of all levels. So pre-K through graduate school, we have members of all different levels of language instruction. We are all united in a common mission to promote, develop, and advance the teaching of Spanish and Portuguese, respective and related cultures in the United States and in other countries. So we represent all the varieties of the language, and we have a lot of different kinds of projects and programs that I can't do justice to today, but I can tell you that if you want to learn about us, I'll tell you a little bit today. And then please go to our website, aatsp.org, to learn more and hopefully to join us. Okay, so who are AATSP teacher members? I former teacher and career academic, and I started as a junior high Spanish teacher and ended up at the college level for many, many years. And now I am leading this association and very honored to be doing so. But like, who are we? Well, we did a survey, of course, back in January 2020, and that was pre-COVID, so things were different. But I don't think this particular piece of data would change much. And it goes like this. Teachers of all levels, and this was exclusively for Spanish, were asked how they self-identify as Spanish speakers in the AATSP. And here's what the respondents said. They essentially shared that 47% of our respondents shared that they identify as native and or heritage language Spanish speakers, 47%. And then at 53% self-identify as non-native Spanish speakers. I want to share that because I think there's always an urban legend that one group is dominating all of Spanish instruction in the US, and what you sort of pull out of that data point is that there's a pretty even mix of teachers' backgrounds, where they're from. We represent the foreign born in the US. We come from all different backgrounds. We speak all different varieties of Spanish. So we're a very rich and diverse organization. In the same survey, we asked Spanish teachers to identify their top priority for language advocates. And what happened was they identified Spanish teacher professional development as the top priority. So that tells you a number of things, but it's particularly timely for this presentation because essentially the AATSP is largely about professional development. It's about helping you help our students learn. And so I'm going to tell you how we do that in just a moment. Just to give you a little more background on the AATSP, we overall, roughly in our membership, are about 30% from higher education. About 60% of us, 60% of us, are K through 12 teachers. And then the balance are administrators or others that don't fit into the sort of typical categories and typical scheme that we put in these surveys. So those that might be doing community language instruction, etc. Back in January of 2020, more than 92% said of these respondents to the same survey that they were teaching in a classroom setting. And we know that's radically different now. We know that this year has offered up a number of challenges. Of course, most of us have gone remote or hybrid. And so the AATSP supports teachers that strive to develop language proficiency and biliteracy and cultural acumen in their students, no matter what level or no matter what setting. So how do we do this? We offer and promote professional development in a number of ways, and I'm just going to throw out some examples of ways that we do support teachers. We offer 3 contests, and they are contests to help motivate your students, because a lot of us know language learning is kind of a long experience, and to keep students engaged from level to level and not decide to opt out is always quite challenging. So we think motivation is something that we're interested in, and one of the ways is we run a poster contest that started very small. It showcases student art that's related to language themes. This year, for example, for our conference, we are going to be talking about diversidad, diversidade, and diversity is going to be one of the things that's showcased in our student art this year in the post. It's available to students from K through 12. It's become quite a big thing. There are contests at the level of our chapters, our AATSP chapters, and then from there, there's a national competition, and the art is shared, online in some of our publications and other venues. And it's really a quite nice way to recognize students. They also get medals and things like that. Another well-known way to motivate students is through contests that are assessments or testing. So we have a suite of multi-level exams for Spanish and Portuguese, and at this point, roughly, we have over 150,000 students testing annually the national Spanish exams. It's a suite of exams. So it's the largest academic contest for students enrolled in Spanish, grades 1 through 12. And so you may know it as just a high school contest or exam, but in fact, we just launched the elementary level contest that we're really proud to tell you about. These opportunities, these testing opportunities help predict proficiency levels. They encourage growth toward proficiency, and they often result in medals, scholarship opportunities for teachers and students as well. So these are things that can motivate. In a normal non-COVID year, we send students abroad that are finalists that go ahead and compete for opportunities to travel. So with that said, let me just say that we have the National Spanish Exams, which is a contest primarily for high school, the National Spanish Challenge, which is a contest primarily for elementary school, the National Portuguese Exam, which is also a contest, the National Spanish Assessment, which is not a contest. It's if you want straight up assessment and testing on the continuum toward proficiency, that's available to you as well. If you want to know more about those things, you can go to nationalspanishexams.org, or you may go to aatsp.org and click and find out more about these opportunities for students to engage in these contests. We also support and promote engagement with Spanish and Portuguese through our honor societies. I'm going to talk about 2 of them. The 2 largest are the Sociedad Honoraria Hispánica, which is, we call it the SAHH in-house. It's primarily for high school students, and it's an academic honor society where students can join a chapter if they make the criteria, and then engage in community service, leadership activities, language development, and cultural learning in high school. It's a really nice program. They do amazing, amazing work. And there are many, many, many students that engage in this. We also have for K through 9 students, the Sociedad Hispánica de Amistad, and it's an activities-based group in your school, and you can start a chapter as well as the SAATSP. These are things that are teacher-driven, and they basically provide opportunities to develop your students beyond the classroom as an extension to promote Spanish and Portuguese language and cultural learning, but also letting students see how these languages exist beyond the borders of the classroom is very important for them to begin to learn how to use the language in an employing, which of course we all want our students to go on and use their language skills in their future work and endeavors as well as just for enjoyment, right? So one of other things I want to mention to you is that we have a number of publications. The first one is linked to the SAATSP that I just mentioned, the Sociedad Honoraria Hispánica. It's called Albricias, which is a publication. It's of creative student work, high school level, and students compete to have their work land in this really lovely journal that's published twice a year. The editor is fantastic and does a great job with the layout, and it's just amazing. Her name is Faith Blackhurst. But our other publications really center more around research and best practices. So to briefly give you an idea, you've perhaps heard of the journal Hispania. It's a research-based journal. It's been around for a long, long time, again, over 100 years. With Hispania, what you're going to know is that it's published 4 times a year. If you haven't picked it up for a long time, it's available online with your membership. You can also find Hispania in libraries. We have some of the articles are open access on our website, so you can go take a look and see what it is. But what you're going to see is things have changed a lot. We have a new editor, Ben Fraser. He's worked very hard to pull in not just higher education, but K through 12 authors and topics and short form articles that are interesting to them, to a wider constituency than perhaps just the traditional academic. So we're hoping that that is something you're interested in, because a course needs to ground their teaching in best practices and current practices and research, and looking and reading and examining Hispania is a great way to do it. We also have a graduate student journal called SPR, the Spanish and Portuguese Review. We have a relatively new editor who's fabulous. She's Stacy Margarita Johnson at Vanderbilt. And she essentially is running a journal that's completely run by graduate students, for graduate students. They produce the journal and they edit it and they create the content. It's open access, it's available at our website. We, for Portuguese, have the Portuguese newsletter that Lucy Moreira edits for us, and she, in turn, does a great job finding very interesting protagonists in the Portuguese speaking academic world to interview. So there, generally we have an interview in the destaque part, and then it's a roundup of all kinds of things in the Portuguese speaking, Luso and Brazilian and other dialects and varieties of Portuguese, of publications, of things that are going on, of activities, grant opportunities, etc. So these things are all available for you. It's also open access and is available at our website. We, of course, run an annual conference, and we're holding our breath like others this year, but we're really feeling pretty good that by July through 11th, that we will be meeting in Atlanta, Georgia, with a lot of luck and some vaccines and a lot of safety measures for those that perhaps are going to wait for their vaccine. And we have, it's a really wonderful program. Again, the all levels, we try to include content for all levels. It's a wonderful way to meet other Spanish teachers, other Portuguese teachers, have formal interactions, but also informal interactions with them, to learn from them, to share. So what I encourage you to do is to check out our conference webpage at aatsp.org, and you'll see that proposals have been coming in this fall, and we're putting our program together. At this point, when I'm recording, the proposal portal open. By the time you see this, it will be December, and we hope we have the majority of the proposals in. It may look like you are late, but we will accept late proposals. If you're interested, please. We really want to have a wonderful face-to-face comeback with a lot of safety measures, trying to, sense of we can share face-to-face our experiences during COVID and how our teaching has changed and all the things that we really need to talk about. And virtual is wonderful, and if we have to do it, we will, but we are forging ahead with the idea of face-to-face. We hope to be the first large national conference in the language community back face-to-face. So we'll see how that works out. These are just some of our programs. We celebrated National Teach Portuguese Week recently. We have celebrated our wonderful one-day event, which is National Teach Spanish Day as well. So I want to tell you about two important things. One is a free giveaway of memberships for 2021 to those who have never been members of the AATSP. It will be going on through December 9th. So if this is December 2nd or December 3rd, please know you have a few days to go to our website and join us for free. If you have never been a member, so go to AATSP.org, take advantage of the opportunity to sign up for a free membership for the rest of 2020 and all of 2021. That way, you're going to learn about what tools, what we provide, all kinds of things that I haven't had time to mention, like webinars and you name it. We want to support you in everything you do. So essentially, we want to help you motivate your students to go all the way and earn those important credentials, those important language credentials like the Global Seal of Biliteracy, the State Seals of Biliteracy, and to go on and study Spanish and Portuguese in college and graduate school, use it when you're employed, and really make us proud as educators, because we know the difference. We know what it's worth to you to be able to use your Spanish and use your Portuguese in an employment setting. You will earn more money and it will take you further. I want to thank today NATS and the C.R.E.D organizers for the opportunity to talk about how the AATSP supports bilingualism and biliteracy. And I'd like to end with a couple of words in Spanish and Portuguese. Our motto is todos a una, todos por un. Thank you so much and have a wonderful conference.